Right now, as you're watching this, the space above your ceiling is sitting at somewhere between 130 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And every single minute your AC is running, it's not fighting the heat outside. It's fighting that oven baking directly above your head. The fix costs $30. It takes one Saturday, and it's been sitting on hardware store shelves for 70 years. Welcome to Hidden Fix Lab. Here's what nobody explains when you sign up for central air. Your shingles in direct July sun can hit 160 degrees. That heat radiates down into the trapped air sitting between your roof deck and your ceiling. With nowhere to go, that air becomes a pressurized dome of heat, sitting right on top of every room in your house. Your air conditioner isn't solving that problem, it's just slowing it down. Every month you pay it to lose that fight a little slower, and then you pay again and again, straight through October. The average American household spends $265 a month on summer cooling. Most of that money is going toward a problem that doesn't have to exist. In 1938, Penn State researcher Everett Schuman studied 12 homes across 3 different climate zones. Every single house with a ventilated attic stayed within 15 degrees of outside air temperature. The ones with no ventilation ran 50 to 70 degrees hotter inside that attic space. The Florida Solar Energy Center later measured a 40% drop in cooling load just from fixing attic airflow. No new insulation, no upgraded AC unit, no contractor. An Oak Ridge National Laboratory found homes in California's Central Valley cutting their cooling energy use by up to 79% in houses built between 1948 and 2005. Not new construction, not fancy retrofits, regular old houses just like yours. So what's the actual mechanism? It comes down to one law of physics that never changes. For centuries, builders in rural Pennsylvania used this principle to keep their farmhouses cool without a single mechanical system. Their homes had a low intake vent on the shaded north side, pulling in cool, ground-level air, and a high outlet at the very peak of the roof. Hot air climbed through the house and left through the top. Cool air followed it in from the bottom. The whole interior volume of the house cycled every 6 to 8 minutes during peak afternoon heat. Families documented an 8 to 15 degree temperature drop on the main floor. Zero electricity, zero refrigerant, pure physics. In 1923, a Pennsylvania agricultural extension researcher named Shaw surveyed 47 of these farmhouses and documented the results house by house. His bulletin was filed at Penn State and has been cited in modern literature almost 0 times. From the 1950s through the late 1980s, the same principle was built into almost every home constructed in the American South and Midwest in the form of a small spinning rooftop device called a turbine ventilator. They were standard, they were cheap, they worked. Then around the year 2000, they quietly disappeared from new construction. Not because something better replaced them. Homeowners associations called them an eyesore. Builders stopped installing them to avoid pushback. And in 2019, a ventilation standards committee with 67% industry representation voted to deprioritize passive systems in favor of mechanical ones, meaning systems that require ongoing electricity to run. Here is the exact setup. 3 components, one Saturday morning. It mounts at the highest point of your roof. Wind catches the curved fins, the whole assembly spins, and it pulls hot attic air out at roughly 1,400 cubic feet per minute. No electricity, no motor, no maintenance except 1 drop of oil on the bearing once a year. And when there's no wind, the heat differential between your attic and the outside air creates its own draft on pure physics. The fan mounts on your gable vent. The thermostat wires in between the solar panel and the fan motor. When your attic hits 100 degrees, the circuit closes and the fan kicks on. When it drops below 80, it shuts off. You never touch it again. Grid electricity consumed by this entire system, 0 kilowatt hours. Component 3, $30. Perforated radiant barrier foil. Staple it to the underside of your roof rafters with half-inch staples. It reflects 97% of the radiant heat coming through your shingles before it ever heats the attic air. This one addition takes your system from a 20-degree attic temperature drop to a 37-degree drop, which translates to roughly an 8-degree drop on the ceiling surface of the rooms directly below. Lifespan of the system, 25 years minimum, because there is nothing in it that can break. One more thing, and this is the detail that almost nobody mentions. If you live north of the Mason-Dixon line, add a $30 automatic turbine damper underneath the ventilator. It opens above 40 degrees and closes below it. Without it, winter ice can lock the bearing and crack the seal during the thaw cycle. Nobody at the hardware store will tell you that. Now you know. Shaw documented this in 1923. Schuman confirmed it in 1938. Oak Ridge published it in the 2010s. The Florida Solar Energy Center measured it down to the exact percentage. The hardware store has had every single part in stock for 70 straight years. The only reason your house doesn't have this system right now is because someone decided your roof needed to look like everyone else's roof. And someone else decided you needed to keep writing that check to the utility company every August. Drop a comment and tell me one thing. What state you're in and whether your roof has a turbine ventilator on it right now. I read every single one. I want to see where this knowledge has survived and where it's been completely erased. And if you want the next one, Hidden Fix Lab is covering the underground air tunnel system that delivers 55-degree air into a home year-round. No compressor, no electricity, and yes, there were committees that tried to block it. Subscribe and hit the bell. That video is already in production. Hidden Fix Lab. The fix was always there. We just went and found it.